Hello, hola. I'm Marco, and back in 2021, I weighed about 550 pounds, more or less, but leaning towards more. Now, I've been overweight all my life, and over the years, I got heavier, heavier, and heavier, and heavier. And 550 was about the heaviest I'd ever gotten, again, more or less. At that weight, my knees finally gave up, gave out. They were not having it. Every step felt like someone was jabbing a hot spike into my knee. And my left shin felt like it was gonna snap. And eventually, I had to get crutches to get around. But then the crutches weren't helping enough, and so I got a wheelchair. Because even with crutches, my knees ached. And they ached all the time. Even when I was lying down, they ached. When I was lying in bed, they ached. But I was used to that. It wasn't really a problem for me. That is, it didn't prevent me from going to sleep. No. The sleep apnea, that prevented me from going to sleep or getting any good sleep, unless I had my CPAP machine, which I don't need anymore. But yeah, my knees were aching all the time. And actually, once I started to lose weight, my knees stopped hurting. And that's when I thought something was wrong. That's when I thought, okay, I have to go see a doctor because my knees don't hurt anymore. Very funny, very strange. But at the time, my knees were aching so much. And I had tried everything, quote unquote, to lose weight. I tried Atkins, Weight Watchers, I tried shots, I tried pills, I went to different centers, but nothing ever worked for me. Nothing ever took. Until finally, I decided to get gastric bypass surgery. So in 2021, at the age of 47, I went under the knife. Cut to today, and I weigh about 300 pounds. Actually, a little less than 300 pounds. Now, what finally got me to decide to get gastric bypass surgery was something of an effort. It was something of a story. Like, why did it take me so long to finally do that? Why did it take me so long to finally decide to get the surgery? Well, there were several reasons. Back then, the most immediate reason was because I was in pain all the time. Constant pain, excruciating pain. Anytime I took a step, it was painful. But that was like the last straw. That was the last reason why I finally decided to go for the surgery. And again, there were several reasons. The least of those reasons was how much it was going to hurt to get the surgery and how much it was going to cost. And believe me, it was expensive and painful. But, I decided to do it. One of the bigger reasons why I was so resistant to getting surgery was because in my head, as I understood it, the formula for losing weight is simple. You burn more calories than you take in. If you do that, there's no way you don't lose weight. If you burn more calories than you take in, you will lose weight. But the problem I had was not understanding that just because it was simple, that doesn't mean it was easy. And I just didn't get that. I felt that since the formula for losing weight is simple, then it should be easy. You should be able to do it. It's not that difficult. Burn more calories than you take in. Eat less. Stop eating 4 fucking cheeseburgers every day. Eat 1 if I really needed to. But no. And if I couldn't do this supposedly easy thing, then it would prove to me that I really was the worthless person that I had come to think of myself as. Because again, I've been fat almost all my life, except for like a brief period in high school when I did a little bit of gymnastics and a lot of martial arts. I've been overweight all my life. And I berated myself for that. I hated myself for that. How could I let that happen to me? How could I let myself get that far? How could I do that to myself? Now, I didn't think this out loud. I didn't consciously was aware of how much I was berating myself. It was something I felt inside. And what came with that was this feeling of shame. I was ashamed of myself. And what came with that was this feeling of this, of I despised myself. I hated myself. And what comes with that is this sense of why bother? If I really am the worthless person I think I am, then why bother putting any effort into anything? And so there was no point to continuing with whatever effort I was making at the time. And so, I would try. I would do something and it would work. It would work for a while. It might even work for a while. But eventually, I'd give up and I'd stop and I'd feel ashamed again and hate myself again, and just the whole cycle repeated itself. And every time I would gain more and more weight. Again, the thing is, I didn't know that that's how I was feeling about myself. I didn't know that's how what I believed about myself. I mean, I didn't think I was a bad guy. I didn't want to admit those feelings to myself. I would think that what it was that I didn't find the right diet, or I didn't find the right workout, or the right trainer, or something. That's what I thought the problem was. But that wasn't exactly what the problem was. I mean, a little bit maybe, but not really the whole thing. It took a long time to understand just how badly I thought of myself. And again, since I thought the formula for losing weight is simple, then it should be easy, and I shouldn't need the help. I shouldn't have to get the surgery, since all I have to do is just do the simple thing. But it wasn't simple. Or rather, it was simple, but it wasn't easy. So if I got the surgery, that would mean I needed the surgery, which meant that I really am the worthless SOB I thought it was. And for the longest time, I could not accept that. Those thoughts and feelings are probably the biggest reason why I didn't get the surgery. There were other reasons, of course, like lack of urgency. Back in 2021, when my knees were hurting so bad, all the time, that was immediate. I needed to do something immediately, and the doctors weren't really able to help. But in my 20s and my 30s, I felt I had time. I felt it wasn't any urgent need to lose weight. Also, I was complacent. How to put this? I was comfortable with my obesity. I knew it. I understood it. I knew how to live with it. I knew how to, mitigate whatever issue I was having. It was something I understood, and therefore it was something that I was comfortable with and complacent with. Also, I turned to various vices. Food, for example. Anytime I felt bad about anything, because a diet didn't work out, or a trainer didn't work out, or something was going on in my life that was hard, I turned to food. And I turned to video games. I played WoW, World of Warcraft, for hours. I mean, 8 hours a day, no joke, and like hours. And when I played World of Warcraft, I had a large pizza and a 2-liter of Pepsi. That was my food for the day. And I used that to self-soothe, especially after every time I failed. And it's kind of like a drug addict, actually, in a way. But again, I was comfortable with my obesity. I knew it, I understood it, and even as much as I hated myself while I was obese, or so obese, the effort to change was overwhelming. I mean, you're telling me I have to stop drinking soda? Are you crazy? I love soda. I've gone like years just drinking soda, mostly soda. And I also have to change my diet. But pizza's awesome. Pizza's great. Lasagna, I love bread. I love carbs. Oh my God. But I obviously ate all the wrong diets, and all the food I ate was processed, and it's just bad. But changing that effort, it's kind of, okay, So I make this analogy that getting fit and getting healthy is kind of like that piece of metal between an anvil and a hammer, and you're just getting beaten to shape. It's painful. I do not like going to the gym, going to a trainer, and being worked out, and I'm gasping for breath. I hate gasping for breath. I don't like being sore the next day. I don't like the fact that when I'm sore and I'm feeling out of sorts about something, that I can't go to get pizza or again a soda, which is my thing. So getting into shape, doing all that sucked. And again, I was comfortable with my obesity because I knew it, I understood it. Being the fit person, that I didn't understand, that I didn't get. I just understood what it was, and I was complacent. However, I knew something was wrong. I would berate myself. I hated myself. And then I would get angry with myself. And then I would try again. I would try to find something again. Because again, it wasn't my fault. I just hadn't found the right diet. I didn't find the right trainer. So I tried again. But every time, it didn't work out. Once it got too uncomfortable, or once the cravings for the sugar got too much, I would stop, I would give up, and I'd go back to these bad habits. Well, after a while, 2021, I mean, my body could only take that much abuse for only so long. And when I finally landed in the wheelchair, that was a very bad time for me. I had to do some introspection. No one likes doing that. I mean, come on, you really want to focus on yourself and find out all the things you don't like about yourself? Who wants to do that? However, for me, it came down to two choices, basically. Option A, I could give up on any real efforts to try and lose weight. I could maybe lose 20, 15 pounds just to help out with the knees. But then I would just adjust to being in a wheelchair, and I would live life that way. Because humans are very good at acclimating to their environment. And I thought eventually, some 3, 4, 5 years down the line, a obesity-related illness condition would take me out. A heart attack, diabetes, my high blood pressure, something would take me out. And I thought, okay, that's definitely an option I could take. However, obviously, I didn't do that. I chose option B, to get the surgery. Now, making that decision was like one of the hardest things I had to do. Because again, I felt that if I needed the surgery, then that means I really am the worst piece of shit I thought it was, and I just couldn't accept that for the longest time. And it was really, really hard to come to that decision. But I did. I got there. I was able to admit that I really needed the help. It wasn't something that I could use. It's something that I needed to do. And so I found a doctor which was an effort, and I'll talk about that in other videos. I found a doctor that was an effort. I got the surgery, and today I weigh about 300 pounds. Actually, a little less now. I've lost almost 250 pounds, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what I did, what I am doing, and what I'm going to do. My goal weight is 220, and once I get to 220, I have other ideas of what to do to continue. But I haven't figured it all out yet. So if you're on your weight loss journey and I'm on mine, maybe we can help each other out. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And if you have any suggestions, advice, consejos, please comment down below. Because for the longest time, I wasn't able to move, and that's what I want to do. I want to jump. I want to climb. I want to be able to get up off the floor without having to use both my arms and legs. I want to be able to buy one ticket so I can go traveling. I want to move. And now that's a possibility. That's an honest possibility. I can make that happen. And that's awesome. That's so great. I can't tell you how great that is. So, that's just awesome. So yeah, until next time, adios.